Welcome to this lesson. In this video, we are going to talk about how to use the first principle to solve functions that are dividing each other. In other words, we are going to use the first principle to derive by the quotient rule. So follow me as we solve a function of this form. Now we are using the first principle. By the first principle, first it says that we are taking a function, the limit of the function as h approaching 0 of the function at x plus h minus the function at x all over h. So we are going to use this to evaluate this. So when we have this, it means that we are going to get limit as h approaching 0 of we first have what f of x plus h minus f of x. Okay, by each of them, we know that this is what of g of x. So this is what g of x plus h is also g of x. Okay, now everything is divided by h. So we are going to have all of this guy times 1 over h. Times 1 over h. Okay. Now let's see. This we can cross multiply over here. Alright. So when we cross multiply, what are we going to get? We are going to get limit as h approaching 0 of this multiplying this and this also multiplying this. So that we are getting g of x multiplying what? Multiplying our f of x plus h. This minus my f of x multiplying my g of x plus h, which is my g of x plus h over here. Now, everything divided by what? The LCM, which is this. So we are having what? G of x plus h multiplying my g of x. Now, we still have not to forget that everything we divide through by h. So that's multiplying 1 over h. But here, we have that we can take the limit of the denominator out, where we can re-simplify this as the limit as our h approaching 0 of 1 over the denominator, which is g of x plus h multiplying g of x over here. And this is multiplying what? This is multiplying the limit as h approaching 0 of the numerator, where we are having the g of x multiplying what? Our f of x plus h, where we have f of x plus h. This is minus our f of x multiplying what? G of x plus h. Okay. Multiplying my g of x plus h. Okay. Now, we have to know that everything is over h over here. So, out of over h, we are having this to be all this over h. All this over h. But let's first focus on this point over here. Now, this point over here, let's evaluate it where h is approaching 0. So in this, we are just going to get what? Everywhere we see h, we replace it with 0. We have 1 over g of x plus 0 multiplying g of x, which is the same as we are going to get 1 over g of x multiplying different g of x. Okay, which is the same as 1 over g of x squared. G of x squared over here. Okay, so we now put this down. We now put the whole of this down as the first one. Then let's now focus on the second part. Second part says that we are now following this. where we are just having all this. But now, what can we identify over here? Okay, first let me put the whole function here. I have the limit as h approaching 0 of my g of x f of x plus h minus f of x then g of x plus h all over h. But here, let's introduce a concept. We can also say that from here, whenever I have a function like minus f of x g of x plus f of x g of x, this is going to give me 0 minus plus 1 minus 1 plus 1. So this is just going to give me 0. But let me introduce this, put 0 over here, and I have to not change the function. It's still the same thing. So I'm just going to get over here limit as h approaching 0 of my g of x f of x plus h. Let me add this. This is going to minus f of x g of x plus my f of x g of x, right? Of this minus f of x g of x plus h all over the whole of this all over my h. Okay. Now over here, let's see. I can decide to split this into two. I can split this into two. I can take the limit of this side, also take the limit of this side, which is the same as if I take the limit of f of a plus f of b, is still the same as taking the limit of f of a plus the limit of f of b. It's still the same thing where the limit, maybe x over here or a approaches something, and then here b also approaches something. So all is still the same thing. So it still hasn't changed anything about the function. So let's see. So it means that over there, what I'm going to do is to split it into two, where I'll take the limit of this side and also take the limit of this side. So this is going to give me limit as h approaching 0 of my g of x multiplying my f of x plus h, right? Minus my f of x g of x all over the same way plus the same limit as h approaching 0 of all these sides, which is still going to be my f of x g of x minus my f of x plus whatever is here. But let's put everything downstairs here so that we take them one after the other. So first, we are now going to consider the limit of one side. So taking the limit of one side means we are now just considering this. Later, we'll come and consider this part of it. Okay. So now the first part of it is now giving us what? This. What is common here? G of x is common. So it's like a constant. So you can factor what's the constant out. So g of x out over here. Then we are getting limit as h approaching 0 of our f of x plus h minus my f of x. Okay. But what is this equal to? The whole of this is just what? The first derivative. The derivative of the function f of x. So this is now also giving me what? G of x multiplying the f prime of x. Okay. So let's take the second part as well. So the second part is also going to give me, okay, so let me take the second part. And the second part is going to give me limit as h approaching 0 of my f of x g of x minus f of x g of x plus h. Remember, all is over h. So it's the whole of these guys that we have taken over here. Okay. This is over. Yes. Okay. Now over here we can factor out negative. Let's factor out negative f of x because f of x is common here, right? So when you factor out negative f of x, we are going to get negative f of x limit. Now here is positive. So when you factor out, here becomes what? Negative h approaching 0 of negative g of x plus negative negative positive plus g of x plus h over here all over h. But we can rearrange what is the numerator here, which will now be minus f of x limit as h approaching 0. We now bring this one first, g of x plus h. Now this is minus g of x all over h. But here, what can we identify? We can identify that this is x. We can identify that the whole of this is what? The first derivative, or the derivative of what? G of x, which is this guy. The derivative of this one over here. So I'm now getting minus f of x multiplying what? G prime of x. So now let's put the three things that we have gotten together. What are the things that we have gotten? We first got our first this. Also, when we simplify this, we also got this. And then this also became what? Our third one. So let's put the three all together and see what we are finally getting. So in that, we are going to get, take this guys out. Okay. So in that, we are going to get, first we have this. So this is 1 over, okay, this is, okay, here's the blue one. So here we get 1 over g of x all square multiplying second one here, that is what? G of x times the derivative of the function of x, and then minus this guy, the third one, which is what? F of x, which is what? F of x multiplying the derivative of x, where we can simplify all of this to be my g of x multiplying what? F prime of x, right? Minus my f of x multiplying the derivative of g of x all over my g of x all square. So now this forms what? The quotient rule.